Live your life like you're the hero in your own movie. I think that a lot of people say, I just want to they're kind of dabbling in the idea of improving themselves, and the real way to do it is to write down what you truly want and go after it, because otherwise you live in sort of wishy-washy world. If you decide, I'm going to do this, I'm going to run a marathon in less than 3 hours. I'm going to read 2 books this week. I'm going to, whatever you want to do. You have to sit down and write that thing that you want to accomplish and then go for it. I often tell people to live your life like you are the superhero in your own movie, and imagine right now when the movie starts and your life is a total mess, a true disaster like every Sylvester Stallone movie, where he wakes up, the bad guys are looking for him because he messed up. He puts the gun in their mouth, and they put their guns down because they dropped something in their pants. Pretend that you are the main actor instead of Sylvester Stallone. Pretend now that you're in the part of the movie that starts, and it shows you as a total nerd or loser, and just decide not to be a loser anymore. Live your life like there is a documentary crew following you everywhere, and that you are watching yourself from above like a third party. Do what you would want to do no matter the obstacles and other people's opinions. So one day your son would look back and see that documentary and look on it with pride like, wow, my dad is a hero. I want to be like him. He really did what he had to do. I love a success story, but even more, I really like when a dude starts from nothing and succeeds and accomplishes everything he dreamt of. He gets the most beautiful women in that red Ferrari or big mansion with a swimming pool inside. Those are my favorite stories, and the way to do that, you got to write down everything you dream of. Just sit down and write. You got to think for yourself that you are the hero of your own movie. And again, sit down and write down the things you dream about. Somebody who is watching will say, yeah, this life is awful, man. Nothing is going well. I lost my job. I lost my money. I've had that. All things are completely unrelated to you. All things that you find other people's successes as a downhill in your own existence, and that you are envied instead of being inspired from their success stories, instead of choosing to be positive, instead of improving every day on a daily basis on the direction of trying to achieve whatever you have written on your paper. You just are sitting around and you're complaining about life. There's nothing more miserable than someone who is complaining all the time about his life, and it is one of the most annoying things ever. Nobody likes this type of guy who is a complainer. When someone sits around and complains about their life, you are wondering and you don't know what to say. Well, he gets upset when you bring that up. I don't want to bring that up. You know what is wrong with your life? Just go and work for it. I think that there is a lot of people out there who dream to just be on the beach and someone around them to make a wind with a palm leaf because it's hot, while someone is dropping grapes into your mouth. I do not want that. I've never wanted that. That guy is not going to be happy if that comes true. He's going to be bored to death. He would probably be like, what am I doing in this bed? I got to do something. The human organism, that animal that we truly are, needs constant stimulation because it has evolved trying to find food and escape enemies, and find shelter and escape wild animals. Try to survive, and this is the great joy that you have. We are built for that, to take care of our children from the wild animals and the enemies, and feed them. When I see a loser, I see some guy who is 39 years old, lives in his parents' house, and he hates the entire world. He does not have a wife or kids. Man, this is a grown-up baby that somebody just gave bad nutrients in the form of food or in the form of negative thoughts and ideas and examples. And this kid developed these horrible patterns of behavior that have led to this point where he is, in this grown middle-aged person with no future, no dreams, and no plans or ideas of how to get out of this rat race, and probably he will never escape it. This is the world we live in today, and I think part of that world is because we have been fed with these fake advices that you're supposed to seek comfort instead of getting out of your comfort zone. I think you're supposed to seek lessons. You're supposed to seek difficult tasks every day, and through doing things that are tough to do, even if it's 60-minute spinning class. I do a 90-minute yoga class, and during these last 20 minutes, I don't want to be there. Man, and I definitely don't want to give 100% of myself, and I can cheat, but if I don't, and I get through it, when the time is up and the lady says, "Namaste," and everybody gets up, you feel that satisfaction, that happiness. I lost 15 pounds last year because yoga has drenched the point where I could literally wring it out and fill a jug of water with it. But through that struggle, I will now have a better day, and I better do it again tomorrow or do something else, because just think, well, tomorrow I'm going to buy Coca-Cola and eat Ruffles all day and watch TV. On the next day, I'll be like, "Oh, hello, sadness, my best friend." This is because when you're not doing anything, you feel like you are wasting your life, and that is just part of being human. We can pretend that we're something other than that, and we can pretend, "Nah, me, man, I'm just cool, just chilling and going out and doing nothing." Those are just lies. Toss that aside. You are human. You are the product of hundreds of thousands of years evolution. Your ancestors were hunters and survivors and people who struggled. This survivor is deeply in your DNA, and if you don't respect that, you will not have this happiness and fulfillment. What you really need to do in order to feel satisfied in life is to love, to have family, build relationships, go through struggle, testing yourself to the limits. Learning all those things are imperative. They are all giant parts of being a person and to feel alive. I believe that 90% of success is just showing up. I think that one thing that discipline definitely does help you with is it helps you get things done even if you don't feel good for showing up. When you get things done, when you actually do things, you have more success. And sometimes a big part of success is just not being one lazy dude and just doing it. Just get that it is like 90% of it is just showing up. Get there and start putting in that hard work. Like, you're not going to feel perfect every day, for sure. If I only worked out when I felt good, I would be one fat dude. There's a lot of ways I don't want to do that hard work, but it is necessary. It is pretty much the same with everybody that actually gets good at something. There has got to be those days when you push through, and they are probably going to be more than the days that you don't want to show up. So the benefit of discipline, in my eyes, has always been that through discipline, I get all the things done. I always say that I'm the most lazy, disciplined person in the room. I know, because I don't want to do it, but I always do it, no matter what. There's a great book called The War of Art, and the author was essentially like a nerd, do well, till he was like 43 years old. He was kind of messed up. A lot of artists and comics, musicians, as well as writers, for sure, one of the big problems is just sitting down and doing the work. And authors talk about it in the most concise and beautiful way, and he labels it like an enemy calls it resistance. You have to sit down. You have to overcome resistance. And the professional goes to work, and it doesn't matter if you're sick, if you have a wife, it doesn't matter. You are professional, and you go to work, and that just puts it in your head that this is what I do.